The UA Flow Velocity Elite's my go-to shoe because it's the most responsive shoe out there, and you get so much return from the ground. I've never run in a shoe before where it leaves you feeling fresh at the end of a race.
All right. It is the final day of the U.S. Championships. I'm a little sad, but
What do we do? What do we do now?
I guess we rest up for Budapest.
No, there's other meets, I think, in between now and then.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I don't know how much traveling we'll be doing because we got to rest up. We're old, but we're going to bring the energy for sure.
Feeling young right now after that day.
Totally. Today's coverage of the U.S. Championships and all of this weekend's coverage of the U.S. Championships has been brought to you by Under Armour. This morning we had a really awesome group run. People got to try pairs of the Flow Velocity Elites, which are these shoes right here, the ones that won the New York City Marathon. So we've given away 4 pairs of these all throughout the weekend. You've been giving them away to people racing in the street, doing trivia. It's been a lot of fun. And so today we had a couple Under Armour athletes competing, Charlene Lipsy, John Renecki, and it was like you feel a little extra motivated to root for the UA Mission Run athletes.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good turnout this morning, and we got the first CITIUS MAG piece of gear that has gone out.
Yeah, do we have any handy over here that we could show off?
Beautiful
to the
Under Armour
YouTube chat?
singlet, and I saw the mock-up of it, and I was like, all right, that looks good. But mock-ups, you never really know what you're gonna get. It kind of just looks like some red words on a white piece of paper or something, and then we ended up getting the singlets, and everyone was like, oh, I would race in this.
The material's great.
Oh,
They're
there it is.
breathable.
All right.
Pull it up right there.
Merch.
Oh,
Merch.
There you go. Now you can see it.
The problem that we ran into was that we've got a few XLs left.
Yeah, so we are going to be looking for some throwers out there who really want to
we needed
rep
them
CITIUS
last
MAG.
night at the throws party.
Yeah. It's been great. I can't wait to wear mine.
So thank you, Under Armour, for printing those up, and we'll be repping proudly.
Yeah. So where do we want to begin?
The
Kyle?
800s.
We're gonna go kind of in chronological order, I guess, right? So that people can follow along a little bit easier instead of jumping around. So first up, it was the women's 800-meter final.
Woo!
And we gave our predictions, and this kind of really changed.
Oh my God, Nia Aikens, unbelievable. Everyone called it. She walked through the mix zone both times, head down. She came in, we're like, Nia, how'd it feel? And she said, completely blacked out. She has no idea how that happened. And I was like, okay, well, give us a little bit more than that. She is a very calm, cool, collected athlete and is really excited for the rest of this summer. Felt like there's a huge weight off her back. We'll get to go race the rest of the season. It was, Nia Aikens first, Raven Rogers second, and Kayla Edwards making her first U.S. team ever, coached by her partner, Chad Noel, coming in third. So some new faces on the U.S. team in the 800.
Is it kind of nice when someone who's been crushing it all regular season is then able to show up and deliver when it's time? Like, you see that Nia was fit. This is not the first race that we've seen her win this spring or summer. And now, what is all that worth? It's worth a U.S. title. So it just feels kind of validating, like, you timed it well.
Yeah. So with Nia, she hasn't lost a 800-meter race since winning in Albuquerque, and she actually said that was the first sign where she felt that she could. For the last 2 years, us pundits on this panel have talked about the big three and how tough it's going to be to crack that. And she was just like, after U.S. indoors, I felt that I could make this team. And she did that today. So
breaking down the race a little bit, Michaela Rose took him out in 58 seconds. She was leading through the 400. And surprisingly, and Mac and I were watching this being like, oh, this is new, not something we normally see. Raven Rogers taking the lead with 200 meters to go. Normally it's like the last 60 meters, Raven comes flying down the home straightaway to grab a medal. But instead, trying to control it from a bit further out, she saw herself on the tower feeling inspired and decided to take it. And now Nia, who loves the rail, doesn't come off the rail except for a good reason, ended up following Raven up. But, still really remained patient and waited. And it wasn't until the final 50 meters or so that she finally made it up, was neck and neck with Raven, and just had that little bit of extra strength at the end to pull away for her win.
A little bit of heartbreak for Sage Herda-Klecker. When they were introducing this field, you were like, heavy hitter, heavy hitter, heavy hitter. It was so exciting to see these women come out with a lot of confidence. Sage was like not wringing her hands. She was like holding her hands in a way at the start, kind of like, I don't know. She was doing something. I was like, oh, this is going to be really special. And it was like very heartbreaking for me personally to see her head down on the track. I know how badly Sage wanted this. So, and you know, Charlene as well. We've been following her season. We did the profile on her for Under Armour, and she looked so smooth on that backstretch before the final 200. It's just like, it's heartbreaking for these women left on the team. Like USA is so deep in middle distance right now. This is a hard team to make.
The amazing thing too is that we get 4, and yet it still feels like there are people who are good enough to make a world final not on this team. So, you know, obviously because of Thing has that bye. So I do want to note, like, Raven and Kayla Edwards both have enough ranking points in order to be selected. So don't worry about that, even though they haven't run the standard.
Yeah, so Kayla Edwards is the surprise of this top 3, but I think like there have been signs along the way. You know, I'm thinking indoor season 2021, 2022, where she was constantly, you know, battling out with Ajay, and today it finally came together on the U.S. Championship stage. Ajay ends up 8th place and last in 2:05, and really unfortunate. I mean, she didn't really say a whole lot as to why, you know, this race went south. She said it's been something that she's been dealing with for a couple of years without disclosing all that much. And so, yeah, I mean, this is the first team she's missing since 2013, so it's going to have a little bit of a different feel to it. And then, yeah, shout out to Charlene Lipsy, 5th, you know, after many years out. And Sage handled it pretty well, I would say, kind of like coming through doing interviews where she acknowledges that this is, her and Dathan said that the plan was to commit to the 800, not just this year, but also for the Paris Olympics next year. It's still going to be the plan. I think she hasn't scratched the surface of her potential there.
So we need more spots.
We need more spots. We need another extra, like, 15 meters, too. Like, I would really like to see if it had 15 more meters, this 800, just to see, like, if someone could come around that 4th place slot. Like, how much more did Sage Hurta need to get there? It kind of broke apart at the end a little bit, but I don't know.
That's why it's the 800. It's not the 815.
Well, I thought it'd be interesting. How much more does she need? All right, men's.
All right, shifting over to the men's race.
What?
Physical.
Let's
yellow
get
flags.
Physical.
What's the next line after that?
Da-na,
Let's get physical.
Anyway.
And then it repeats.
There were yellow flags up in this.
Yellow flags, and like Clayton Murphy showed me his leg afterwards, and he got some battle wounds up on his quad, which was like, how did you get spiked that high up? And you know, there was some pushing and shoving, I think.
Yeah.
I think they all expected Under Armour's CJ Jones to take things out. He's known for his fiery first lap. Bryce Hoppel was spoke to said, I really thought CJ would take it out. I probably shouldn't have. I would have liked that first lap to go faster. CJ is a gamer. Unfortunately finished 8th today, but will be back. Really was looking good out there in the Under Armour kit. But, you know, you can't rely on the guy that always takes it out to take it out in the championship final.
I mean, I think the thing that's so interesting is if they got out and then settled in, and that's why there was so much pushing and shoving. After the race finished, I had texts from different friends, and they all said someone else was getting DQ'd.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Hoppel's out. Oh, Isaiah's getting, Clayton's getting DQ'd. Like, no one could agree, and so ultimately, I'm pretty glad that it was just, you know, the officials were too big of cowards to actually do something about it.
I was sitting in between a guy that was like, there was a yellow flag, like someone's getting DQ'd, and then clearly an official, and the official was like, a yellow flag does not mean someone gets DQ'd. It just means there's a review at the end. And this guy was like really passionate about that. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, that was actually extremely helpful because I don't think I knew what a yellow flag was, but Bryce Hoppel did know what a yellow flag meant. And he was like, yeah, I heard this yellow flag. Because Bryce, what happened was they're all coming towards the break-in. And everyone's everywhere. There's limbs flying. There's spikes flying. And Bryce kind of just puts his little hands up.
His little hands.
His little hands.
If you don't know this about Bryce Hoppel, he has extremely small hands.
No, he just was like, ooh. Like, and I go, what was that? He's like, I just didn't want to get in the way. But Bryce has come into this meet with so much confidence that I don't think we've seen from him since his days at Kansas, where he was racing like every third day, I swear to God, where he's just like was race, win. Bryce, I don't think will be satisfied leaving Budapest without a gold medal. Like he's on a mission.
I mean, Bryce ran a very smart race. He found himself on the inside and just kind of sat there. He rode Isaiah Jewett until the final 100. When it was time to go, he went. You know, talking a bit about what was happening in all that battle, Isaiah tried to find his way in, and Clayton, you know, they didn't let him. CJ and Clayton didn't let him go. And so ultimately, like, Zaya dealt with getting shut down. Like, momentum was lost. Luckily, it was early enough in the race. Clayton spent a lot of this running in lane 2. And this is, you know, the big question, I think, is, like, was it a matter of experience?
Yeah. Clayton said afterwards that every single thing that his coach told him not to do, he did today. And this is something that everyone's got to polish up, I guess, before the World Championships, because maybe the officials won't be as nice and, like, not DQ people. So we saw it last year, actually, with Isaiah Coach, right?
Yeah. Look, it happens. It's part of the 800 racing. But now Isaiah Harris making this team. He hadn't made a team since 2017.
Outdoor.
He was a sophomore, an outdoor team, yes. He was a sophomore
at
Penn State when he did this. And so now 6 years later, he's back. Is Isaiah Harris back and better than ever? And what can this team do at Worlds?
I think... Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked that Isaiah Harris is performing as well as he did, because that injury at the World Indoor Championships last year was just so gruesome that I thought, like, he's not going to be top 100% like for a while, but proves everyone wrong, and he's made this remarkable comeback. Mean, he's been good, I guess, like through the rounds and in a championship setting. So I wouldn't put it past him to make the final. I think experience is very good for someone like Clayton Murphy. And when I think about just kind of like the 800 on the international scene, it's not anything like the 1500 where it's like you have a Jakob-like figure. Like, everyone kind of has been running in this
wide open
144 high range. Like, we haven't seen I don't think we've seen a 143 this year.
No,
right?
Joseph Dang actually just ran 143.99 to set the Australian record.
Oh, and then there's
Wanyoni.
Yeah.
So we have seen some 143s, but it is still very wide open. I saw Zay afterwards in the mix zone. He's like, "Did CITIUS MAG pick me this time?" Like, kind of bitter.
And we're like,
"I told you so."
Picks.
And like, I definitely root for Isaiah. And I was like, Zay, just so you know, I had 2 picks. I had, if Will Sumner is pushing the pace up front, then I thought he was going to make it. I said, if it came down to tactics and get physical, I had you picked. Will Sumner just signed with Adidas, is going professional, spent a lot of time in the pack. You know, he ultimately finishes 5th, first year out of high school, a good, strong showing. But I don't think he listens to this podcast, because I told him he's got to be in the lead.
Out of high school?
Yeah.
First year out of high school.
Yeah, this is his first year out of high school. He's a freshman. It just wrapped up the freshman year at Georgia. He's going to be staying.
He's going to stay in Georgia.
No, he was so young.
He's staying in school.
It's good. Good for him.
But
So Bryce's time, 146 today.
I think it's interesting that we just didn't even mention the times, and I think that's a sign of a good race, good matchups.
They all thought it was a lot faster, I have to say. So all the guys were kind of milling around. There's like 2 sections to the media right now. There's like the traditional media, and then there's this content room we've been talking about a couple times. They were just milling around, and they both, like, Zaya and Clayton were like, yeah, we thought that was a 143 race. Like, that felt like it. It was hard, it hurt, it was physical, and I think it was really good championship racing practice for these guys. They'll be ready to compete in Budapest.
You know, I just realized it's not. When Yoni has run 143, it's the Algerians that.
We're completely sleeping on that.
100%. Like,
do you want to try to pronounce their names?
I mean,
I think we have a lot of events to get
Jamel
to.
Sajjadi.
Next event.
Yeah.
400 hurdles.
Oh, I mean, this one was so cool.
What
to watch.
year is it? Shamir Little, U.S. champion.
Yeah, I think Caitlin is the Shamir's singer.
Is Caitlin back?
Caitlin's here.
Caitlin, get in here. Chicago's own Sha'Carri Little, 2015 U.S. champion. Now, 8 years later,
The way she
back
described-
in business.
I'm so curious kind of like what – I've never been to Budapest. Sha'Carri competed at another meet that's not in Budapest but in Hungary, and she said that she did go down to the city center, and she said that Budapest feels like the Chicago of Hungary. So like maybe you have something to look forward to, Caitlin. What did you make
Are
of
you
that? Seeing your
excited?
Oh, I was screaming so loud, but I wasn't close to the track this time, so I don't think she heard me. But I was definitely partying with her in the back when she came to the mix zone.
Your voice is like gone.
I know. But I was definitely partying with her in the back when she came to the mix zone, and she said she's just very happy to like finally like be a champion. And she's number 4 or 5th all time in the 400 hurdles. So I mean, being a U.S. champ was gonna come at some point. But yeah, she looked great.
She got out.
She did. They was so interesting because if you watch the race over hurdles 2 and 3, Delilah, Anna Cockrell, and Sha'Carri were like in complete sync. It was actually very, very scary. But then I think it was Sha'Carri who like realized what was going on, and then over hurdle 4, she was like, "Now I'm about to make my move," and it paid off.
I was really scared that Sha'Carri was gonna clip the last hurdle.
9 and
Oh my
10.
God, yes.
Scary.
Yes.
Scary moments were happening there. Sha'Carri's fall last year was like etched into my brain. And being neck and neck with Delilah, something you don't see. Like, we're definitely missing, obviously Sydney McLaughlin has the bye in this event, but she got over it cleanly. I don't think it was the prettiest last 2 hurdles, but didn't even matter.
I mean, as long as you win. But I was more concerned about her coming off that hurdle that's on that turn. I don't know which hurdle that is, but like she used to be like she has
Definitely
a
not 10.
Definitely not
not
10.
That nasty little hurdle.
Maybe 7.
maybe 7, one of those. But she said that she used to have a really bad habit of like looking when she came across that hurdle. And I don't remember which race it was recently within like the past 2 or 3 years of the major championship where like that was the hurdle that she kind of like tripped over when she was either in medal contention or in first place contention. But she was like, I cannot do that again. And she went back to the drawing board. And I was looking out there today. I was like, look, you didn't look. You did what you got to do.
There was so much room from the first 3 positions who were the team back to 4th that on the 9th and 10th, I just wanted to be like, just Delilah, Sha'Carri, just both get over this cleanly.
Yes.
But people forget there's $8,000 on the line.
Yeah, you gotta get that
You gotta
payday.
get $8,000.
And bonuses as well, little add-ons. Anna Cockrell takes that 3rd spot.
Yeah.
Looking back and better than ever. Really kind of struggle with that transition to pro last year. Feeling really good, confident. Caitlin, talked to her.
Yeah, I talked to her. So I was saying like, you made the Olympic team, had an injury last year. She was a part of me and Jasmine's boot crew. So last year, Jasmine's over here doing fist pumps in the back in the house. And then now she's back on making the team. And, she's always very vocal about, her anxiety and depression. And she was just saying like, a couple of words that I just want people to know is like, it's okay to like feel those thoughts, but like you can push through them. And I think that's what she showed today. Like, she seems like a much stronger and like confident person than what she was when she first turned pro and when she made the Olympic team. And I think that we could see something special from her in Budapest.
Do you think the streets of Chicago are like partying this time?
Oh, of course. Southside going crazy. If you hear the gunshots, just go back in the house.
I think they're probably just partying.
Just period.
Because it's, Sunday night. It's Sunday night. I just
Yeah,
remembered.
but
I thought it
Sunday
was
night and
Saturday at the
Sha'Carri Little
start.
just won the national championship, though.
So with Sha'Carri going 53.34, that puts her at number 3. Oh, she already was number 3 on the year. She's in medal contention.
Yeah.
Easily.
We don't know what Sydney's doing yet, though. So do we?
I don't
You're
think
smiling like you know.
I don't think Sydney's running the 400.
Oh, I don't think so
hurdles.
either.
Yeah.
I don't think she's doing that. So I think that is going to be a race between Femke, Delilah, and Sha'Carri. Who was number 2?
Who was number 2 on that list? So it was Femke, Britton Wilson, but Britton is not running.
Yeah.
yet.
So, yeah. Oh, I also talked to her about Britton, too, and she says that they're like big and little sister. It's like the greatest thing ever. I was like, well, it would have been great if both of you would have went to Budapest in the 400 hurdles, but both of you are just going for 2 different things, and that's okay. And now both of you will come home with medals. So
Now that men's race, can we shift? Because I don't know what time it is in Norway.
Norway.
But they're part. No,
They're not partying.
They're
They're
not
waking
partying.
up to some news realizing that we might have more of a race on our hands than they initially had anticipated because they thought Rai Benjamin was done.
He's back.
Rai Benjamin did this off of like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of training or something like that. It's something ridiculous because for the people who are probably curious as to like what has been happening with Rai this season, he raced like twice. It was like Doha and then Mount Sac, and he like shut it down. And it turns out that like one, he had a friend that passed away. There's a quad injury, COVID, all this stuff. Mike Norman switching training groups, that mentally kind of also frazzled him. And yeah, I mean, like, I didn't expect this time. So he ended up winning in 46.62. This is his best performance since the Tokyo Olympics. He looked like Rai of old. But the thing was, it's like, he said that he's super sore right now. Like, he is absolutely watching his body right now. If you're him, you kind of consider even being in bubble wrap between now and Budapest. He has, like, this little inkling of temptation that, like, he wants to run Monaco.
No.
That wouldn't be the wise move, I think.
He just wants to go hang out on a yacht. He wants to live that F1 lifestyle.
He's a big drive to survive.
He's a big yacht guy.
But the other thing, too, was that, like, that in Monaco, yes, it's nice to be there. And, like, everyone wants to be at the Monaco Diamond League. But Karsten Warholm and Dos Santos are going head-to-head there.
I thought he was out this year.
No. Dos Santos is back.
Get a Jasmine update.
He's going to be He's going to be opening his season at the Monaco Diamond.
I thought he messed up his ACL or
No.
something.
Oh, he's back, though.
So then Rai wants in, but
With what drugs?
Band-Aids.
so
The spirit within him.
Oh my God.
anyway, Rai Benjamin wants in on this battle, but I don't think it's the wisest move. Also, he acknowledges that there is, appearance fees and all that stuff play a whole role in this.
Rai is very transparent
Yeah,
about
100%. Like, it's still uploading right now because it's 12 minutes long, but Rai was very open in the mix zone about things.
I want to see Rai run flat 400s only, get to Worlds, healthy, hamstring in one piece, ready to go. I mean, the gear shift that he had in this race, I didn't know that you can change gears like that late into a 400-meter race.
It completely messed up your rhythm in that way to shift gears like that.
I mean, I don't know what that was, but it was sick.
In the photos that like Justin took, it's like Rai's head and shoulders above everyone else, and that wasn't how I kind of thought this race was going to go, just based off of things. But TJ Allen right behind him makes a team, and then there was a nice tight battle for third and fourth, Khalifa Rosser and Trevor Bassett. It's our boy Trevor who ends up going back to back.
I told Trevor if he ever scares us like that again, we're all like beating his ass. He was like, you were scared, I was scared. And I'm like, I'm just saying.
I have a vote for what we talk about next. I think
How tall Trevor Bassett is? Does it shock anyone
he
else
like
every
8
time?
feet
so tall.
It's his season's best for Trevor today, 48.26. Like, he's got 5-6 weeks. What is it? I haven't even looked that far ahead for
It's
Worlds.
like 6.
They kept saying 50 days.
Yeah,
That was the big
I started saying 50 days, and then I realized I said that a couple days ago. It's got to be like 40 something, but plenty of time for these guys to get it right.
Where are you taking us, Dana?
I think we should talk about the 5Ks, and then we can have Jasmine come on, talk about the field event extravaganza before we wrap us up with some sprints.
All right, men's 5K.
All righty.
Isai Rodriguez has balls every single time he races. This dude loves taking the lead.
Is it just sort of like I'm going
someone
to throw
has
shit
it.
at the wall and then see it at some point it's going to stick?
This is how he races.
Yeah.
But, he at least got it going, and this ended up not – it slowed down, and at 4K, the entire pack was still together.
I have to say, this is classic men's versus women's style of 5K.
Chicken shit.
Such chicken shit. It's like the same thing. I was standing there. I was like, this is so, come on. You guys do this every time. My biggest surprise was that Woody Kincaid, didn't have his kick. What happened? I was high on Woody for this one. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, so I honestly have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
But back and better than ever, Abdi Nur.
Abdi Nur was, I think, considered a sleeper pick in some ways.
For who?
Because he didn't have the time yet.
No, yeah. No,
So-
he did. He
No,
ran
no,
through-
no. Sorry, he didn't have like the sub 13 sexy 1250
Yeah.
sixes.
I think people
that everyone
forget what
else
happened
does.
last year with Abdi. Like, he knows how to make a team. That's
Yeah.
all that matters here is knowing how to make a team.
Kyle, to your point, I think like that the 13:07 that he ran in LA
fell.
gets overlooked, but it's like for context, he fell, and that's really it was really impressive. Also, yeah, I mean he's in a training group with the likes of Woody and with Luis Grijalva, and of the whole bunch. He's coming into this thing fresh, and right behind him, Paul Chelimo, 13:24. You talked to him, and he was like, "Yeah, basically, I gave up on the 10K like 2 laps into it."
He said 2K into the 2 laps into the
laps.
10K. He just knew his legs weren't feeling it. I was like, why didn't you drop out? You didn't even have a standard. Like there is no reason.
Do you
to
think it was
run.
like the way he warms up? That was his shakeout or
I
something?
think it was he just went for a nice little 10K tempo that day, get in shape, ready to make this 5K team. But I was joking with Paul because I was like, you started the season off like in the Berlin half. Then you came back and ran the 10K the night of the 10,000 meter PBs, just missed the standard. And then, like, no matter what, you're back in the 5K. You tried to escape.
Yeah.
And he said it's taking a little while for his speed to come along. And he's seeing how fast the 5K is right now in the Diamond Leagues. And he's like, I know I have time to get my speed together. Also, just a little hint. We might see a marathon debut.
No, at the trials.
He's definitely open to that, but
I thought you were just saying like between now and
not
Worlds.
between now and then. But he did hint that he is.
Yeah, because
I
he's
think,
got the
leaning towards
qualifier through
doing
the
it.
half.
You know,
and
he
then-
wanted to pull a Connor Mance, who at one point I was like, if Connor Mance pulls this off, that would be hilarious. Coming from the Boston Marathon to making the 5K team, that guy is fearless. He was making it fun up there, but it ends up being Sean McGorty in that third spot. Out kicking Joe Klecker, who does have the standard. Sean, making top 3 again without another standard. I need to know what the conversations
I
are
got it.
between him and Jerry. What comes next, Kyle?
So he's gonna go try to chase this 5K.
This
Much
is-
easier, many more 5K races available to him. And then this also does open up the possibility, and this is a theme across a few different events right now, that if Sean goes and he qualifies in the 5K, then that means that Grant, who is 4th in the 10K,
didn't race this because he pulled out earlier in the day.
has
got-
47 days to recover from a femoral stress reaction.
and who knows how, like, that's a range
Which
of
could
how
take a
seri-
week. It could be a week.
Who was
A stress reaction
next
is
up
different
after
than a
that?
stress fracture for the record. So who knows how bad it is, but like if Sean goes, I mean, listen, Sean, if he just placed podium on both the 5 and the 10K, then he can run under 13:07. That shouldn't be an issue.
And I think Grant really has some unfinished business that I would like to see him in Budapest. One of like the more devastating stories from Worlds of last year.
That devastating.
For me, for
He's a
him.
good race still, yeah.
He had a great race, but
Yeah.
he was kind of in contention there for
Yeah,
a moment. So it was hard to see that little stumble from him. So I think I would really like to see Grant on the team. And then those teammates can train together all summer. They can go to St. Moritz, and just have a ball.
The way that the race went with Abdi taking the last 1,000 and just
Baller.
winding it up. So I was kind of going back and forth of like what's better, the last 1K in 2:21 or the last 800 in 1:51. But Mo Farah-esque with that long gradual wind up to break the field.
I've always really liked Abdi's form and just how he bounces. Like he gets some airtime every single time that he takes off the ground. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back at the World Championships.
Women.
Switching over to the women's 5K.
Woo.
This one was like building, and
Race
it's like,
of attrition.
we knew that it was going to be, Monson versus Cranny Part 2, and Natasha Rogers inserting herself in that conversation once again, and then Cranny dropping the hammer on the
Yeah, I
final
can break
lap.
down the race a little bit too, where first 800 is a 2:29, so pretty slow pace for them. Alicia has no interest in doing that. She has, extremely fast PB, has had so much fitness, has been well tested over, especially over the 3K distance with that speed. Just starts clipping away 70, 71. Then it slips to a 73.
We're not having that, says
We are
Natasha.
not having that, says Natasha, which people forget about her. And she's like, I like being the dark horse. It's okay. Natasha finds a demon or something inside of her where she gets to another level. I really thought this was Josette Andrews' team to make. And, Natasha loves the 5K. She really does. And she leaned in to go around Alicia, but, you know, Elise Cranny, being the smooth, tactical athlete that she is, was not having that and outkicks the field. Her second national title of the weekend for Elise. Be interesting what she decides to do. We have some work to do with looking at these Budapest schedules, but Natasha also says she needs to speak to her coach, Alistair Craig, and he's like, thinks she's a better 10K runner. She doesn't have the standard. She'd have to, you know, see how that all shakes out, as we broke down the other night. But she prefers the 5K, and she thinks there's more opportunity to medal in the 5.
We have a lot of situations.
Yeah,
here.
so Alicia Monson is in a little bit of a predicament here where, you know, she says she's a little undecided as to whether or not she's going to double because, and I said, well, I'm guessing it's a really tough decision based off of who is in 4th place, your teammate. And she was like, yeah, that makes it even tougher because she's the American record holder in the 10K, but she's doing really well in the 5K, especially at the Diamond Leagues. If you're her, what do you do?
I've heard stories, and we won't go into names, of large transactions or like cash offerings between various pros in history of like, if you're willing.
What's your price tag?
Or like teammates, like, hey, you know, I mean, but you have to, the price tag is you have to see them every day for the rest of the build up to Worlds. And I think at some point, depending on the situation, like if Alicia thinks she's better at the 5K, then she should definitely just do the 5K. And it's an individual professional sport.
Yes.
I know Mac is going to chime in here at some point because I know he feels very similarly. Like you should look out for number 1. But is there some benefit to having a teammate who's also going to Worlds in that training cycle or whatnot? And, you know, but ultimately, like, you got to look out for yourself first. But then on the other side of things, Elise doesn't want to run the 10K apparently that badly. Like, she's going to have that conversation with Jerry. But
And that moves her.
I think both of
teammate
their
up.
coaches, like for Natasha and Elise, like they would say, like, you guys are good. Excuse me, I can't even speak. It's been too many days of this, but I think their coaches prefer the 10 for them in a way. But Elise almost did the 15 this weekend. She almost did the 15.
she wanted to the 15.
Yeah.
I don't think she was close to being allowed
I don't know.
to do
I think in her head she was close to doing the 15. But I would fight for the 5K if I was her.
I'm thinking here sort of like if I'm in Alicia Monson's shoes, like she was 13th at the World Championships last year and like has not tested out the 5K, but she's been in these Diamond Leagues where she's finishing top 5, top 3. Yeah, I kind of lean towards the 5K.
Yeah.
Like it just the American women are so much further behind in the 10K from the Ethiopians. So, Caitlin, if you're Alicia Monson, what are you doing? The 5K or the 10K?
The 400.
So you'd actually be pretty good at it.
Could you imagine showing up, though, like just having to see your teammate and be like, yeah, sorry, I want to do both.
I'm choosing the 400.
Oh, man. Someone's feelings are going to get hurt.
But Natasha Rogers, kind of nice to have that
She's got now
in the bag
a
now.
team
You don't
and-
have to stress anymore about the 10K. You know, hopefully she gets that opportunity.
This all just really comes down to 8 random women who ran a cross country race a long time ago,
Yeah,
and
honestly.
see what happens there.
Okay, what could the teams look like? Like if summarize this really quick. We probably lost a couple people just kind of like.
Okay,
oh.
so 10K,
Yeah.
you have Elise, and if she decides not to do the 10K, could bump Carissa, her teammate.
Yeah, so
in.
it's Monson, Rogers, Schweitzer.
And then if Natasha doesn't get into the 10K, bumps Carissa in. So Carissa's likelihood of
She's got 2 chances
being
to
in
do
the 10 are high.
Track
If
and
we're
field.
betting people.
Even though she withdrew from today's race.
You know, she's got 47, 50 days, so
Yeah.
she'll be there. Then in the 5K, if Alicia doesn't do the 5, pushes her teammate, Josette, who has the standard,
Right.
in. And if
That one's easier to understand, yeah.
yeah, and if Natasha or Alicia also don't do that, then Josette comes in. So Josette, you should definitely keep training.
She's got, yeah.
Yeah, I think she was going to keep training no matter what.
Just in case she needed a little extra encouragement.
It's her job. Should we go to these 200s?
Yeah. Do we want to bring on Jasmine Todd?
Yeah, it had Jasmine Todd straight off the track.
Woo!
All right, let's clap it
Feeling
up.
brand new.
With a medal around her neck.
Jasmine Todd, today's 6th place finisher in the women's long jump with
we're in
a
the
Hey, guys.
presence of royalty.
season's best. I mean, like,
Are you our
Yeah, I
special
like
Bringing
your
your
best
best of the
claps.
year to the U.S. Championship stage. First off, like, how are you feeling?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to sleep and get this sand out of places it doesn't belong.
Oh man.
Oh,
That happens.
It happens, and especially when you choose to wear buns.
Oh, that's rough.
Silly mistake. I like to be cute. I like my buns to be out. The sun was out. Buns out.
disgusting.
We got to get viewers
But that's
out
why we
here.
locked in.
Okay? We got to get the viewers, and that's how you get the viewers. You got to show a little skin.
Now she being nasty.
Give us a quick long jump report. How are the vibes? And like we were, this is the one that Quanisha Burks like said like this is July 9th, and today Tara ended up.
And Tara
winning.
won.
Yeah.
July 9th, and Tara won.
Yeah.
Girl,
This is Tara's
excited
year.
to see you out there.
Yeah.
I told Tara that I need her to go out there and come back with a gold medal so we could take 4. And I
Yeah.
think she has all the possibility of doing it. It was a little bit of a struggle at first. I think everyone was struggling to find their rhythm. And then everyone just started popping off. And I was like, okay, well, I'm still trying to find my rhythm out here. Let me get it together. But I started finding it. I just wasn't enough jumps for me.
Can I tell them about my premonition?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was kind of crazy.
I know, like, no BS, y'all. I swear to God, I had a dream 2 nights ago. I was looking at the results. Jasmine jumped 654. That part of the dream came true. The other part of the dream was that she won with 654 because everybody else jumped like trash, but she just jumped the better trash jump.
I like that she called my
wait.
jump
But
trash,
it's not
though.
trash, though. But
Season's
it's
best.
not trash.
Season's best. You won with the best trash jump.
Okay, you know what I'm trying to say. But also, you're a 6'8" jumper, so
You right.
okay. Let's be real. She know I love her.
Was there a trash talk down there between Tara and Q? Like what? A lot of
Nah, she was real quiet. Q was real quiet. Tara was being Tara. Tara was just having
With that damn
fun.
duck cat on her head.
And I think that it was very cliquey down there. It was weird vibe. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the intensity was, and I don't know if it was
Hey,
like
last year
the,
you guys
the
all had like a
training
group shot of being like
I
we're all
will-
friends.
look,
This year, not
It
that.
was not like that. Like last
okay.
year was a party. For me and Tara, we did not make the final, and we both had this fear about not making the final, and so we talked about that. Actually, after she had scratched her first jump, and then on her second jump, she got one in. And after that, she was like, whew, okay, I don't have to worry about what happened last year. I'm good to go. Let me get it together. And, we left out of last year having a little party. You would have thought that we won the meet how we left. This
All right.
year, it was very, intense down there. Of course, me and Tara were playing around because that's just us. But it was very cliquey down there. I will say that.
All right. Well, we've got Tara, Q, and Jasmine Moore heading up to Budapest. Real strong team. It'll be a good competition. You're coming along to Budapest now to break it down with us. You get to go to Budapest too.
Regardless,
You're gonna have.
I'm still there, y'all. I'm in there like
get-
swimwear.
You get to go out in Budapest a little
I
bit
get
more.
to go out. I get to be like I was at Worlds. I was lit the whole time, and I'm gonna do the same thing
you
at
better
Worlds.
not put none in my drink like you did last year.
What? All right.
Hold on, wait, don't do that. Hold on. I could get safe sported. This is public. I could get safe sported. Please relax.
It wasn't even like that.
Matt-
It
She
wasn't
meant
even
that-
like that.
Matt
Matt
their
cut,
mics.
cut their mics,
She
whatever.
meant the alcohol.
like that.
But I
So
am
the-
excited about being out there too because I get to start my campaign as
That's
I'm running
right.
for World Athletics candidate. So
And you ain't got no choice but to win.
I am
She's
very
out-
excited.
She's going out. She's campaigning.
I'm campaigning.
But like I said, you have no choice but to win.
I mean,
You can't come home if you don't.
Well,
I like my
aren't
odds.
you like her director of comms, like on social media? Like,
yeah,
You're,
I literally just posted her video. It's about to go viral.
all right.
All right, well, let's talk about if you could see the 200 from down on the track.
So I got to watch the semifinals. I
Gabby,
didn't get
world
to,
lead
For like 5
jogging.
minutes.
That
like
was such a fun
jogging.
hour
That was the
happened.
most insane. It was fun. I couldn't focus too much on it, but I was watching Sha'Carri and I was like, Miss Ma'am, why you make it look so easy?
Yeah. It was. She was on one today. She's been on one all weekend long. And for this one, I thought someone really talented is going to get left off the team. And it's true. It happened. Multiple talented women got left off this team. The final, the way it played out was Gabby Thomas executed it perfectly. I mean, this is her personal best, 21.60. Like, faster than she's run at the Olympics. I got her a bronze medal, world lead, like U.S. championship record. Behind her, she just dragged everyone else to like fast times. Sha'Carri goes 21.94. Kayla White. Caitlin, explain to us just like how Kayla White pulled this off.
She pulled it off because she been her. Like, I don't know. I hope nobody's confused about Kayla White being on this team, because Kayla White been fast since her and Sha'Carri was running together back in 2019. So I'm not surprised about the fact that Kayla made the team. It was just so crazy because, as you were saying, like with Gabby, like dragging everybody else, I was telling Jasmine, the angle that I was watching, this was the first time where I seen everybody look tired. I'm like, y'all is out here racing for real. People was breaking form. Everybody had like this nasty look in their face. Like, I got to get to the line first because it was a super, super tight race. But all of these ladies, I'm super excited to see them go. Really sad that my girl Abby will not be going, but it's okay because we're gonna have a party in Lexington before she move out to South Carolina in September, and we're just gonna have a great time. But yeah,
where are you going? Like Cheesecake Factory or something? Like,
I don't
what
really
do you
know.
do for that?
I'm gonna hit her up and see.
All right.
It took a personal best for Kayla White to make this team.
Well, she was really close to making it last year in the 200 as well. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not super surprised that she finally made it happen, because I feel like she was one of those ladies that she just needed to have the right race to pull it together. And the fact that Gabby gave the perfect race gave her the perfect opportunity to put the right race.
I mean, in general, I'm looking at the results here. So Abby gets left off the team. TT gets left off the team after putting together 3 really brilliant rounds of the 200, getting her PR all the way down to 22.17. Like, she hadn't broken 22.4 coming into this weekend. And then Tamara Clark finishing 7th. Jenna not making the team. Like, I don't know if you watch or listen to Caitlin's
you didn't give your
impression of you.
I think
but
it was
like
a 10 out of 10.
that's your girl.
That is my girl, and I listened to her impression.
You gotta admit, it's a good impression.
It was I don't know about the voice she used.
That's what
but
you sound like.
It was she was pretty spot on, so I'll give her that. Y'all know Jenna's my girl, and I'm curious to see, though, with these results, who they put and bring for the relay pool of the 4x1.
4x1.
Because you don't have
4x1.
Prandini
But
in the pool.
because they have the discretionary picks of who they bring on for Team USA, they could still potentially bring her, and in my opinion, it would still be smart to bring her because she's a vet in the game.
She's the best.
Okay.
She's the best third leg runner. Y'all know I stand 10 toes. I
think
stand
you
10
used this
toes
line
down.
last night.
Every time Jasmine says that Jenna is a vet or is the best third leg runner, you should take a shot.
I think I'll get us very drunk because I stand
Ooh, girl,
10
I can't
toes
go
down
past
on
3.
that. And I really would like to see us get a more consistent group on our 4x1 pool. But I'm excited for our 4x1. I mean, I think we got to put Gabby on there now. I'm going to be honest. So if they don't bring Jenna, Gabby would probably be the best third leg that they could put on there.
I mean, I probably end up putting her second, because what are we talking about? Like, the second leg is usually the strongest. Gabby has ran a 49.6, 49 mid.
She's got options.
I'm pretty sure she's broken 11 before.
She's got options. It's the
And-
farthest leg, but to me, the curb is really it's a hard thing to master, and Gabby does know how to run a turn. So your
So she
third
could be
leg,
2
you
or
really
3.
want to put somebody who is good at the third leg. I would put Sha'Carri second.
Who's leading
So
off?
who's leading in anchoring?
Tamari?
That's a good question. I feel
Melissa?
like there's a lot of
Melissa.
options. I would probably say Melissa first.
She was so good last year.
I would say Melissa first, and I'd probably put maybe TT anchor.
I mean,
Oh.
she held it down last year. She did prove herself.
What about a thing? The 4x4.
Well,
She
that's
could just run the whole relay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, she can't just run the whole
Gabby
relay.
in the 4x4.
But you could definitely
I
put
mean,
Gabby
like,
in the
think about
4x4.
Think about this team for the 4x4.
insane.
It'd be like, not in this order. Sydney, Gabby, thing. Britain. That's scary.
That's
But
a
I mean,
scary
and you're-
4x4.
And you're not even including Talitha.
Thank
like,
God there's a mixed gender 4x4 that we
Yeah,
can
Oh my
distribute some of this
gosh.
talent.
Totally.
So world records.
All around.
We need the world record in the mixed gender 4x4, and I'll be going nuts in Budapest.
Can I talk about, or should we segue to probably the biggest upset that we saw this meet?
What?
Fred Curley
Oh.
did not make the 200
The
meters.
devil is alive for no allows.
And not for Fred, unfortunately.
Do you think
Yeah.
anyone predicted that Fred would not be on this team?
No.
Absolutely
So,
not.
I mean, I think at this point...
Can someone break down the race
I
for me?
confronted you in the mix
Okay,
zone.
he
because
did confront.
what
But okay, do you want me to pull up the 12 videos that I got of everybody in the past 2 days that was like, you cannot bet against Fred Curley?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, they had pitchforks in hand.
But I said Erriyon was going to win this thing. And like,
yeah, he
He did
like
say
it-
that.
said that.
Okay,
I was right.
I'm just saying.
This is one of those
I'm just
cases.
saying.
You did this yesterday.
I'm
When you
just
were
saying.
when you were wrong, you were like, I was still close. Or
Okay. I'm just saying when CUSA come down this
Can I
block
do
with
a brief
pitchforks-
interjection just
Yeah.
to stand my ground? Because I had been gone for competition, but I definitely text Caitlin about this 400. I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah, you're
able.
bad.
I was not able to redact that because going into the semis, I said, you know what? I think that Vernon can run a 43 high.
Oh, now you
no,
wanna be-
I text
Wait,
you,
wait,
and
is
you
there
can
a
pull up
text?
the text messages on your
Right.
phone, and it's all in cap letters, and that's because she texts
Okay,
me.
but you probably texted it
patronizing
after I
me.
said something though.
Gaslighting.
It probably got lost in like all our
Gaslighting.
group
And then she
texts.
had the audacity to get on here still talking smack like I didn't text her and didn't even relay my message.
Okay, but they
Let's
was
go back
talking
to the
smack
two.
about you too.
Let's
they
go-
was talking
let-
smack
I
about
know
you
they
too.
were.
I didn't get a text.
But they didn't get a text.
Yeah, we
you
didn't
did.
get a text.
So back to the 200.
Yeah,
Sorry.
back to 200s. Okay, so Erriyon, just 1972 looked.
He looked great on the
Great.
curve, but then once they were neck and neck, he and Kenny,
Yeah.
Erriyon found that next gear somehow in
He's-
the last 20. Like he got out hot, chilled, and
Arian's
then
tired
kicked.
of losing to Kenny. Like at USA's last year, he lost to Noah. Kenny was fourth in that race, and then this time around, and then at Worlds, lost to Kenny. He finally figured it out. Now the big question is, can he figure it out against Noah Lyles?
So all right, so I was talking to Kenny
This
after.
is a great.
This is my favorite thing because I'm like, all right, Kenny, so he had some inconsistencies, was dealing with a hamstring thing, wasn't able to really open it up, and he's now fine, healthy, as seen by him making the team here. But I'm like, Kenny, what do you think of this team and the odds that we do something big in Worlds? And he's like, Erriyon and I have both proven that we've been there. Courtney Lindsay's on one right now, just ran 19.8 today. I like our odds of sweeping the medals. And I was like, you forget someone? What about Noah? Kenny like hunched over, dying of laughter. He's like, I forgot about Noah. I guess we'll go 1 through 4.
That was my next thing. I was going to be like, so 1 through 4? Oh, 1 through
Yeah.
4 sweep.
So out of sight, out of mind, apparently, for Kenny.
Kudos to Christian Coleman. He looked great in that second round, and I mean, I'm excited for what he's going to do in the 100, and so no big concern that he didn't make the 200 team.
Just breaking down Fred's race a little, I have no concerns about him in the 100.
But what's up with the curve?
But he is, and I think he's a little bigger this year as he's starting to commit to the 100, and I wonder if that new muscle is the angles and getting around the curve is maybe being a little bit difficult, but he looks so much more comfortable on the straightaway and had a great straightaway, but that first 100 just was not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really curious. So I got stuck because they didn't know if they needed me for drug testing or not. And I was like, bro, 6th place, you don't need me. But they made me stand in the same spot for literally about 2 hours. So that was good. So I didn't get to watch the 200. So yeah, I was hoping you guys could break that down for me because I was confused when I seen that.
This team is strong. This team is real strong.
Yeah, it's nice. And so Courtney Lindsay, coming off a wonderful NCAA season.
Shout out to him. He said he's never been overseas before, so this
Does
will
he
be
have-
the time of his
That's
life.
kind of scary.
You have a passport?
I don't know. I didn't ask him all that.
He better have a passport because he's gonna go to team processing and they're gonna turn him around. And guess who's gonna end up being on there? Fred Curley.
Honestly, how crazy of a plot twist could that be?
The devil is alive for Fred Curley.
So hopefully he is at a school. So hopefully the school was on it and getting. Honestly, they probably got his passport for him. I would hope. So hopefully he has his
after you run a
passport.
couple
Like you
world
have
leads.
to have it there in the moment.
You need
Like,
to
you
bring
can't
it
just
with
be like,
you.
Hey, I'm gonna go get one. Like
No.
That's not how passports
No,
work.
that's
I mean, considering
no.
looking
They
at
need
that-
to have it now. You have to have it at USA's or have a picture of it with you when you're going into team processing.
Wow. Fred is out there just ripping through Courtney Lindsay's bag. Being like, where the hell is this passport? You're not going to Worlds. I am.
I think Fred's content to go to Worlds and be the
He
fastest
might have
man
just
in the
stole it
world.
from him and hid it. Like,
Yeah.
good luck getting there.
Yeah. All right.
Men's 110 hurdles. Let me just say, it saddened me to see that open lane.
Grant,
Yeah.
Wait,
I
okay,
was
but
hoping he would
yes.
still do it.
I was right.
Like,
He called
he
it.
literally-
I called it. I was like, why show your cards against him?
I
Well,
literally
not
told
against
you.
Cordell. You know, NBC was leaning really heavily into the Cordell Tinch story, where he was at 1308. They mic'd up his whole family. They did like a segment on him beforehand. It's a really good feel-good story. He ends up finishing second. Daniel Roberts.
U.S. champ times
Yes.
two.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so proud, but I also got to say, I'm so proud of Freddie Critton.
Yes.
Like, it's his
Smith.
first team that he has made outdoors, and I am so excited to see what he does
Does he still have
out
his
in
own
Budapest.
Freddie's big breakout was last year at NACAC. He won it in 13 flat after, missing out on the team. He was 5th at USA's last year. Unsponsored, in the Tracksmith athlete program, but, not with a shoe sponsor. And he was having an okay year, but nothing crazy, right? Is that fair to say?
That is very fair to say.
Like, I don't know if everyone was putting him on this team. I think the assumption previous was that, you had Roberts, Tinch, and probably Trey.
Yeah,
as the
I think people
top
would have
three.
assumed Trey. And shout out to you, Tim. I don't know where I can. Shout out to you, Tim. Good job. Job well done. And Freddie, I know you're not an Arizona native, but just know Arizona is very proud of you right now.
What?
Freddie, I know
Yeah,
you mentioned this.
I just pulled up, like, you wrote about him in the lap count
Yeah,
a year ago.
I mean, really cool story and everything, but also I just want to give Freddie a shout out because he makes like some really great content out there
For himself,
talking with
yeah.
other athletes and giving some behind the scenes. So I'm excited to talk to him in Budapest. And Cordell Tinch, I thought maybe we would see a new kit on him at some point, but the value, yesterday's price is not today's.
We were talking about this actually, Caitlin and I, because we were talking with Tunde, and I was like, "You got any sponsors yet, Tunde?" Tunde was like, "No." My
Hilarious joke.
Sorry. But
Period. That was it.
just let no. So for Cordell, I am hoping that a sponsor picks him up because he's just so multi-talented. And he's someone that you can have in different events. The fact that he does the long jump and the fact that he also does the high jump, that's someone that's worth your money. Like, that man better be coming out here in some new spikes by the time he gets to Budapest.
Yeah. And I can't believe Freddie Critton did in the Elliott the tracksmith shoes. The tracksmith shoes they're special.
Let's quickly run through some of the other events. Ryan Krauser, have you heard
big
of him?
man.
Yeah.
2286. He, as defending
throw, yeah.
world champion, of course, had that bye coming in here. So Tunde is back. Peyton Otterdahl.
Oh, my God.
And then, did you talk to Joe?
Yeah, talk to Joe. Joe's in because he's fourth. And
Yeah, what did
He's
you
fourth.
he's good. I
Your
mean,
boy.
Yeah. Joe, it's been a rocky season for him just because he hasn't been able to get into just that consistent groove of competing. He's been traveling with the Vanderbilt team constantly because his wife Ashley coaches them, and then he's got the twins. So, dad strength has not kicked in for Joe yet. That's why I believe in him for the World Championships, and it goes back to a format that half these guys are not familiar with, where it's like I think both sessions are in the same day, so morning and evening, and
Somebody sign Tunde, please. That's
I'll
all I
sign
gotta
him.
say.
Wait, did you talk
I'll
to him
sign him.
afterwards?
Yes.
Is
So
he going
he's-
to Denny's today?
So we asked him, and he said he thinks so. Maybe after team processing, he's been injured all year. So for the fact he came out here and PB'd, going 22 is absolutely nuts.
Can anyone let us know if there's a Denny's in Budapest? Because
We're trying to figure that out.
Is hell bent on going to Denny's in Budapest.
And
Now,
hopefully
you know
they
what
have
we should
alcohol.
do?
If anything, wait. You know who needs to be sponsoring Tunde?
Denny's.
No, or Under Armour.
or Under Armour. I mean,
Somebody
I was gonna
sponsor
say we have
him.
all these extra large CITIUS MAG Under Armour singlets. Maybe
Let's
two.
give it to
Do
him.
we have any
Give
like
him the
double or
two.
triple XL?
So should we go crash Denny's and just give him these?
Yeah,
Like,
let's give it
here,
out.
take this.
Um,
But I also kind of want to know with Peyton Alderdahl, I thought it was really cool of the fact that his little brother was also out there competing with them, Maxwell Alderdahl. He came in 12th overall, but I thought that was awesome. But not only did he have one little brother, he had two little brothers.
What?
His
Competing with him?
other brother throws the hammer.
oh.
And
So
he
they're
goes
just
to
big
Nebraska,
throws
I
guys.
believe. They are definitely
throws
big,
guys.
Big
throws
throws
guys.
fam.
They all look alike. They all look
Did
alike.
you get
It's
confused
nuts.
today?
No, I actually, I was commentating for the Big Ten, so I've had the pleasure of watching Maxwell Alderdahl throughout the season and getting to know him. And when we went out to New York, I was like, Alderdahl, that's not like a common last name. So I stopped Peyton and I was like, I have a question. Do you have a brother? And he was like, yeah, I've got a little brother. And I was
Why you say it like that?
and he's like, you know my little brother? And I was like, it's kind of awkward. I don't know your little brother, and he does not know me, but I've commentated him throughout this season. And then he also told me about his other little brother.
We're just going through
What
the
is
family.
this
all.
family tree you're building us
That,
right now?
I'm just telling you guys the fun story. And I think
preparing
it's
for something we
it's
don't
so
know.
rare that you get to see like
Yeah.
3 siblings out here. You usually see 2, but 3?
Are you next, Jasmine?
No.
All right,
All right.
discus throw.
Well, just real quick, there was a guy in the
Oh.
shop whose name was John Mayer, and he finished 10th. That was just something I wanted to know.
all right.
Shout out John Mayer, Illinois native. Yeah, I remember watching him throw in high school. He's a pretty big guy.
What's your favorite John Mayer song? Waiting
Okay.
on the World to Change?
We need to
All right,
focus on Val Allman.
Sorry.
I talked to Val in the mix zone after she won the disc, throwing 67 meters, and she's basically saying, like, admittedly, and you know at this point, I'm pretty strong anti-buy. Like, I think you have to qualify this year, but Val admittedly was like, yeah, it's kind of hard to get those nerves going when you already know you're on the team, but, it's still U.S. Championship, and it's great to come out there.
But
So
of
no
course.
surprise
Yeah.
there. But did you see Loggy's?
Loggy. I literally had to stop what I was doing to watch Loggy. I was out there as she was throwing, and I caught myself trying not to work while I was out there, and I was like, pay attention to what you're doing.
She's
but
the high jump champ.
Yeah, she just broke the high jump record
Yeah.
with how high she jumped after that
she-
throw.
she
she
gave
was
a,
so excited.
She gave a reenactment for me in the mix zone. It was great.
So I guess for perspective of those listening, on the 6th and final throw, 65-46, gets that world championship standard. The second place is now solid, rock solid, going
She's
to
going.
Budapest, and but like was running all around the infield and stadium, and everyone, I think, just a genuine moment. of
Caitlin, she
excitement.
described it to you, I think, the same way as when I talked to her really briefly, like it was cigarette break is what she
Oh my
described it.
god! If y'all know that,
She was like,
TikTok-
sometimes you just need a cigarette break.
Is that what that's like?
If y'all know that TikTok sound, it was like, sometimes you just need an ice cold cigarette to ease the pain. I was like, girl, do not get caught up. But yeah.
All right, what else do we have?
Katie Moon, world leading clearance of 4.90 meters in the pole vault. So
Sandy Morris and
no.
Hannah Mole was third. Is that it? Have we rolled through everything?
is that the end of?
the U.S. Championships? Okay, so
Crazy.
to wrap it up, what was the most surprising performance of the meet for you?
I'm not going first.
All right, Jasmine.
That's tough.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I will admit I did not think a thing Mo was going to make the 1,500 team. And looking at the schedule, 1,500 before the 800, I don't think she's going to end up running it, to be determined, obviously, by her team. But I did not think she had a second-place finish at USA's in her. Proven wrong. Happy to be wrong. It was the highlight of the meet for me, that one race.
I think for me, the most surprising thing was that just how fast Rai Benjamin went. And that surprise came on the final day. He's sick and tired of silver medals. Carson is just really difficult to crack. And I'm just very excited that we're in for another clash between the two. Dos Santos will find out what shape he's in. And then, yeah, I mean, that race in Tokyo had us kind of immediately jumping out of our seats, being like, holy crap, what was that? I want it again. I want to feel that again in Budapest.
I just want to feel something.
Yeah. Jasmine?
I'll go. Okay. While I was out there, they did the hammer announcements, and obviously I wasn't here during the hammer or paying attention, but I was actually surprised that Brooke Anderson, although she is a phenomenal athlete, I was surprised that she came out with the win over Deanna Price, because Deanna is just so consistent. She's always come back with national championships. And so for me, I think that was a surprise, and huge congrats to Brooke Anderson.
I feel like I probably got 10 of them, but I'm going to just settle on Nikki winning the 15.
Wow, I did not expect you to go 15, but you love it.
They showed
that
up.
was such a great race.
They showed up.
Yeah.
And it's not even like that was just the moment of the meet. I feel like, Nikki, you the one for real. You the one.
41 days.
Mac, do you want to take a biggest surprise?
No,
Mac,
it's fine.
Mac, you can't surprise Mac.
41 days until...
Oh,
wait, he's going what?
Look, I don't know if Mac is set up, but I'll say it on his behalf. Crevant Charleston.
Yeah.
That's the biggest surprise for you guys, maybe, not for me. Because I've been
you're
saying
right.
it
You're
for
right,
weeks.
Kyle, you're right.
It's like I'm not surprised because you've been so obnoxious and loud about
Everyone
it.
else, it was a big surprise.
You were like going into the ice cream shop just like slapping people's cones and being like, Crevant Charleston's
Yeah,
gonna
they're
win
like,
the ice cream."
Obama gets this ice cream flavor. And I was like, but what does Crevant get? And they're like, who? I'm like, oh, he's winning tomorrow.
Exactly. You were all over town. All right. World champs.
This
3
was
weeks.
super fun championships. Eugene.
You did it
for-
again.
Oh, you did. We'll be back again, I'm sure. It's nothing official yet, but I have a feeling. Big thank you to our friends at Under Armour for supporting all of our coverage. And what that means is not only their support of this show and this podcast, but our ability to bring the photographers and have so many people in the mix zone. And, you know, I can't wait to count just how many athletes we spoke to in the course of the last 4 days, but all that was made possible by Under Armour supporting us. Thank you for investing in the athletes, but also whatever we are in the media to help bring some coverage.
So, to close it out, what can you expect from CITIUS MAG at the World Championships? Well, the whole squad is going. We're gonna have it. You know, just stay tuned on the Instagram page. You see how active it is. Every single event is covered. Then on top of that, we're going to be bringing back CITIUS MAG Live, the show that we do between the morning and the evening session, where we're interviewing the who's who of track and field who's in town for the World Championships. And then every night, it's Champs Chats. We're going to be doing this all over again. 10 days. It's going to be a grind. But we do it for one reason only. Can I want to say it at the same time?
Look in my eyes and say it.
I love track and field.
That's
Going to end up on no context. Good night, everyone. And thanks for tuning in. We've got tons of interviews on the channel, so subscribe. And we will catch you guys live from Budapest in August.
Thanks, Mac. You're getting chats. The chat is popping off. Appreciating you as well.